What if I told you that companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and literally thousands of rapidly scaling startups around the world don't just hire software engineers, they aggressively compete for them? Talent is basically the ultimate currency in the tech world right now. And sitting right behind almost every one of those exceptional engineering teams is an equally exceptional technical recruiter. But what exactly does that mean? Today, we're taking a complete beginner's look at this totally fascinating field. You know, when most people hear the word recruiter, they kind of picture someone tossing a job post up on a website, kicking back with a cup of coffee, and just waiting for the applications to roll in so they can read through a stack of resumes. Let me be super clear right from the jump. It is absolutely not just reading resumes. No way. Technical recruiting is a highly active, strategic, and dynamic role where you are actively hunting for passive talent, people who usually aren't even looking for a job. So here's our agenda for today's explainer as we begin this decoder's journey into the world of tech hiring. First, what is technical recruiting? Second, why does it matter? Third, day-to-day responsibilities. Fourth, essential skills needed. And fifth, how to start. And the best part, you absolutely don't need to know how to code to succeed here. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, what is technical recruiting? Basically, technical recruiting is the specialized process of identifying, attracting, evaluating, and hiring professionals who work in the technology sector. And unlike general recruiting, this specialization requires a really unique and delicate balance. You have to understand people, their motivations, career goals, personalities, but you also have to understand the language of technology. You're literally bridging the gap between human resources and complex engineering. You're going to be hiring for a huge variety of roles. We're talking software engineers building apps, DevOps and cloud engineers managing massive servers, AI and machine learning specialists, cybersecurity experts protecting our data, and even the product managers and UX/UI designers shaping how we experience software. But remember, you do not need to be an engineer yourself. Your job is just to be the ultimate communicator who can translate what the hiring manager needs and speak confidently with these technical candidates. Which brings us to Section 2. Why does it matter? Well, it matters because technology companies depend entirely on talent. Think about it. A startup could have the most amazing, disruptive product idea in the world. They could have millions in funding. But without skilled engineers to actually write the code and build the infrastructure, that product simply never gets built. It's just an idea. Technical recruiters play a massively strategic role here. They reduce hiring time, drastically improve the quality of hires, build cohesive engineering teams, and ultimately support the overall growth of the company. And this brilliantly illustrates where the market demand is right now. It is hyper-focused on specific niches. AI and generative AI are exploding. Companies are desperately searching for large language model specialists and data scientists. With all the rising cyber threats, cybersecurity architects and pen testers are in massive demand. Fintech and Web3 companies are hiring rapidly too. And cloud computing, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud experts are selling like hotcakes every single day. If you can find talent in these specific, fast-growing niches, you become one of the most highly valued professionals in talent acquisition today. Moving on to Section 3, day-to-day responsibilities. Let's look at what a technical recruiter actually does. Remember, they don't just wait for applications, they actively search. And it all happens through a holistic recruitment funnel. It starts with understanding the hiring needs, sitting down with hiring managers to figure out the required technical skills, team structure, and business goals. Then comes candidate sourcing, where the real hunt begins. Step 3 is screening resumes and evaluating candidates. And finally, managing the entire hiring process, coordinating interviews and negotiating offers. You are guiding the ship from that very first meeting all the way to candidate onboarding. Let's zoom in on Step 2, sourcing, because this is where the magic really happens. Great candidates usually aren't just browsing job boards, right? Technical recruiters have to know exactly where these experts spend their free time. We're talking about utilizing LinkedIn, sure, but also developer-specific platforms like GitHub, where engineers store their code, and Stack Overflow, where they answer tech questions. Recruiters use complex Boolean search strings to find the perfect match, tap into professional communities, and leverage employee referrals to actively build targeted talent pipelines for current and future needs. Once you find them, you move into screening and ATS management. You're reviewing their resumes against strict technical requirements, figuring out if they have the right experience, and evaluating their communication skills through phone screens. By creating highly organized shortlists of only the best candidates, you save the hiring managers incredibly valuable time. And throughout all of this, you're updating the applicant tracking system, or ATS, ensuring that the entire workflow is super smooth and efficient. All right, Section 4, essential skills needed. What does it actually take to succeed here as a complete beginner? So the crucial point is this. Look at what you don't need.
You do not need a computer science degree. You do not need programming experience. You don't even need years of prior HR experience. That's a huge relief, right? But what you do need is a willingness to learn tech terminology. You need stellar organizational skills to manage multiple open positions. You need to master sourcing strategies, and above all, you need relationship-building skills. The best recruiters build networks of talent long before a job position even opens up.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is you don't need to write a single line of Python or Java, but you must know what they are. You need to understand the difference between front-end development, what the user sees, and back-end development, which are the servers and databases powering it. You need to know what an API does, the basics of cloud computing, and DevOps and AI terminology. It's not about writing code, it's about speaking the language of tech so you can build trust with candidates and managers.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, how to start in this highly lucrative, remote-friendly field.
One of the best ways is to position yourself as a freelancer right now on platforms like Upwork, targeting those high-growth sectors we just talked about. Instead of just calling yourself a general recruiter, you turn your new knowledge into a marketable service. Set up a profile as a technical recruiter for AI and Gen AI talent sourcing, or focus on cyber and infrastructure. Hiring managers are actively searching for specialists who can help them build efficient pipelines in these exact high-demand areas. I really want to leave you with this thought. Everyone starts somewhere. Building a successful career in technical recruiting doesn't happen overnight, but it is highly achievable. It starts simply by understanding basic software concepts, learning the common tech roles, and familiarizing yourself with hiring tools. With consistent practice in sourcing and screening, you can absolutely master this craft. This explainer is just the beginning of our series on technical recruiting fundamentals. Now that you know what a technical recruiter does, the next logical step is to understand exactly how the software they're hiring people to build actually gets made. So, in our next episode, we are going to explore the software development lifecycle, taking you from a product's initial idea all the way to deployment. If you found this explainer valuable, make sure to engage, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss our next lesson. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in episode 2.